What's up, everybody, and welcome to another and a very special episode, actually, of Shared Screen's Elite Four Road to Victory. Because today, for the first time, we have a guest on, and we are going to find out a lot about their dream Pokemon game. But we're not there quite yet. Joining me today from Shared Screens, we've got Austin, we've got Alec, we've got Chris, and we've got our guest, Cody, aka KeenOmega. Cody, how are you doing today, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Peachy. Awesome.
I'm here. Love that. Love the little rhythm we had there. All right. Cody, you've seen the show. You know how it works. As always, we're going to start with Pokemon icebreakers. But first, let's learn a little bit more about you and your Pokemon backstory. Just tell us, like, off the start, what was your, like, starting gamer generation? A little bit about your upbringing with Pokemon, your favorite Pokemon, because that's, I always think, is very important. And then for the icebreaker we'll all be doing, you can end on that one, is our favorite or our personal Pokemon superstition, or like the good luck thing you would do while playing the games. Because I've heard so many different ones on the internet over the years.
So, I mean, dude, I can't even go back to it. The first game was obviously, Pokemon Silver.
He's got it.
Dude, me and my brother.
The GOAT.
Dude, my brother got gold, I got silver, and it was crazy. It was, we never left the house without those games. Obviously watched the anime, watched the movies. Movies are bangers, but
movies are bangers.
Dude, it goes all the way
especially
back.
2000, like coming out like right before Pokemon
Really
Silver and Gold and everything, like driving that hype up. Pokemon 2000 is why I went for Silver specifically, because Lugia was in the movie and Ho-Oh wasn't.
Yeah,
the fucking techno cover of Pokemon World. Oh my god.
There was a long time where I was just like, maybe it was rose tinted glasses, like maybe those movies aren't that great. And then when I was like, I don't know, 18, I watched them again. I'm like, nope, they're fire. They're good.
Yep, no, they're still sick.
They're good.
They're still sick as hell.
They're still fucking great.
I'm still trying to find the Pikachu's Vacation. I can't
Sure.
seem to find it anywhere.
YouTube.
Like, I want to watch it so badly, but I can't find it.
The shorts I've noticed, if you just put them into Google, like Pikachu short full short movie or whatever, like they'll probably be like a daily motion that Nintendo's never thought to take down or whatever, because like nobody cares if it's not YouTube, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I was like, man, there's no way, like, I have my VHS and like I don't even have a VHS to play it on to begin with. But like I was searching for YouTube and
What's that? No, I'm just kidding.
Just couldn't find it. But
Yeah. Lost media.
Favorite Pokemon? It's gonna have to be Samurott.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great
choice. It's Gen 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Gen 5, I do believe. Gen 5 is what got me back into Pokemon. So like I stopped playing from Diamond and Pearl, stopped playing for however long, and then got back into it with Unova.
That's such a hilariously common through line that most of us here have.
Yep. I think I'm the only one who isn't, because like I'm a little younger than like Chris and Alex. So it was for me, like Gen 5 was the one where I was like, I'm too cool for Pokemon.
I mean, we had this conversation. I don't really like Gen 5 because I thought it was just more of a copy and paste from like Gen 1.
Yeah.
They got like the
How dare you?
The Clink line and then like the Timber line.
The slander.
It's like come on.
The storyline, though.
As someone who just played it for the first time, but like has seen the Pokemon obviously in just the past 15 years of like playing it, even though they've came out, like I get that it was supposed to be a 1-to-1 for, like, I get it was supposed to be almost like a soft reboot and they were redoing the Gen 1 thing, but I do look at some of the designs and I'm like, I wish they were more iterative. Like I wish there were less copy and pastes, like the way that like they're like, let's just make this bat psychic instead of poison, or we'll make the rock type you find everywhere pure rock rather than rock ground. Like small changes like that, like I wish they would have adapted into things like the Conkeldurr line or the Sock and Throw line, where it's like it's a parallel, but it's not just another Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan.
Sure.
I mean, Sock and Throw have to be my least favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite. Like,
I'm gonna be honest. It's like I look at those and I'm like, you guys should be paying taxes. You're not Pokemon.
Come on. Like, at least with Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, they got their own like different designs. It's not. We'll just make this one skinnier
like
and a different
this one's
color.
red and this one's blue.
Yeah. And I mean,
it always goes back to red and blue, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Unova has some like top tier designs, like Braviary. Love it. Like again, that's a little bit too close to like Pidgeot, but like
but
I'm not gonna hate on being-
Americanized.
Yeah.
Vanillish. Hello.
Come on, dude.
I mean, for Gen 5, I'm like, yo, Bisharp, Gigalith, Scrafty. I'm like, those are like the cool ones to me.
Garbodor.
Hydreigon.
Hydreigon, dude, I didn't like Hydreigon until recently, until Scarlet and Violet.
Oh.
If they had went all out and given it like the 7 heads like they've done with Hydrapple, maybe I would love like Hydreigon
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really like top tier, and then there's some like, oh, why'd you do that? Ugh. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're just throwing anything we can, I guess.
And what about your like Pokemon superstition, like a good luck charm you would do while playing the games as a kid? Is kind of how I'm looking at it. But if those words like Pokemon superstition mean something else to you, let us know.
I never really used any like good luck. The only thing I can remember of like trying to get like a when I was good luck more of when I was younger, I didn't really, when I saw like a Pokemon, I was like, hey, I've never seen this one before. Let me capture it. But it was at a higher level. When you're a kid, you're not thinking about the level. You're just like, I'm here to like beat the game and that's it.
Yeah.
As a kid, I got beat so many times. But playing Pokemon Silver, there was Skarmory. And I just remember like being young and I could not catch this thing like at all. Like couldn't do it. Kept beating me. Ran out of Pokeballs. That was it. So my whole thing was to press A as like quickly as I could, just nonstop. And
Still do that shit.
I still do it, and I know
Yeah.
like it doesn't do anything, but I still do it.
Or like
'cause I
hold
know-
B or whatever. Hold B and
I
left or
did-
whatever it was.
I
Okay,
did
so
hear
yeah,
about the whole beat thing. Yeah.
it's funny that like Austin, why don't you go next? Actually,
Me?
yeah, with your Pokemon superstition.
Oh, I mean, well, similar to Cody here, I would do kind of dumb things with the button presses, where I was like, I know this doesn't really do anything, but also it just feels right.
Yep.
Like it feels like I'm interacting with my character. Where like that's my hope. I'm imbuing my hope and my desire into this catch or into this move, or what have you.
It's like how you manifest it. It's like it's not doing anything in the code, but it's about manifesting.
It's in a way, I guess if you like dumb it down to like it's almost me role playing in a smallish way, you know what I mean? Because like I've always said, like I try to put a little bit of myself in every character I create or every character in a video game. Like even when I play like sprawling RPGs, I like to make them like scrawny, speedy characters. I'm like, that's what I would do, baby. Like I'm not a hulking character. It's not me. So, but in terms of other things, I don't know if I really have a superstition besides like the B button thing. I would always feel like if there was a Pokemon that I caught just for, or like I doubled up on something, I would release that Pokemon because I was like, I don't want you to be sad in the boxes or whatever. Like I didn't
That's
keep as
so
many as
funny.
does that make sense? I'd be like, I feel bad.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I would just release some of them, even if I like just I don't know. Don't ask me how I determined which ones I released, but I would definitely just release some, which does nothing beneficial for you at all.
It's like being honest about your backlog, where you're like, I'm never going to play that game again. I could delete it off the hard drive.
Yeah.
It's like you look at the Pokemon,
Right,
like, I'm never
yeah.
going to take the time to put you in the party and train you up like I might with some of these guys. So
Yeah.
rather than me just like condemn you to a lifetime inside a hard drive, like go run free in the farm upstate.
I also like to headcanon, like when they're in the PC or the boxes, it's like an animated jungle or whatever. Like in my mind, they're living their life, doing their thing, and
I
there
think
with all
part
the
of
Pokemon
that-
I caught.
I think part of that was like, I think it was Gen 3 where they had like the different like wallpapers for each box.
Sure.
So that kind of helped with that.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Those are sick.
But yeah, so I guess the only thing I can think of is like the boxes stuff and releasing Pokemon. So
What about you, Al? Like any big Pokemon superstition that you're still doing in hopes of just getting what you want?
I guess, yeah. I remember I used to do like the button mash thing. But I think one of the ones I kind of still do is like in the early game, I don't spend all my money on Pokeballs. I buy like all the status healing items just because it's like, oh, in case I get burned or in case I get put to sleep or whatever. Like,
I'm playing through a demo of a ROM hack right now that somebody's very slowly working on, but like they have like this vertical slice out, and it's like I am so low on all the fucking healing items because I have no money.
Yep.
I would always do the thing where, like, as soon as I can buy full heals or as soon as I can buy ultra balls, I would sell
Yep.
everything under it and then
Mhm.
just buy
Oh,
full
yeah.
heals and just
Yep.
buy ultra balls. I mean, with a few cases of like specific Pokeballs like nowadays, but yeah. So
Yeah.
I get that.
I mean, I never
There's
bought like any of the heals or anything. I always bought like the full restores because I mean it's all in one.
Sure.
yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But you
But
don't
like
get
there's
those
like those
till
points
late
where yeah,
game.
you can't get them yet.
yeah.
I would actually
Um,
refrain from buying full restores. I think I would do full heals and like hyper potions. That's weird now that I think about it.
I as a kid I was doing a lot of full restores, but now I'm like, nah, man, max potions and full heals I think are like individually cheaper,
Yeah.
and like I'm not running into status issues as much as I get
Mhm.
higher into the games
Sure.
and like the Elite Fours. I
Mhm.
just need the health boost, or at least I don't need them for every Pokemon. But yeah,
But I guess another one that's I kind of picked up because I've gotten a lot or back into like watching like a lot of PokeTubers and all that, and one of them, Game Boy Luke, he kind of coined the term where on the second shake it says Game Boy Luke, and it a lot of times it catches or it like works, and like they have the saying like it just works like when it catches. So like it's one of those like it's you can't mess with the method. Like it like I say, it just works.
I feel that. And
The
Chris,
famous Bethesda quote.
who's out
Totally
here with the
burning.
drip and one of the coolest hats. What's your Pokemon superstition?
I saw this hat. I think it was in a Hot Topic once, and I was like, "That's Red's hat." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Is it red or is it the X and Y hat?
It's
Am I getting them
Red's,
mixed
man.
up?
I'm pretty sure it's red. Yeah.
It's
It
Red's
reminds me of Red.
from Fire Red and Leaf Green.
I searched Red's hat. I'm getting
And
fucking
it does say
Cincinnati.
you get Pokemon on it, but yeah, it's Red's hat, my guy.
Damn. It is, yeah. Damn, you're right.
Yeah, Jordan, fake fan.
As far as superstitions go, I do have a variation on the button mash thing. Which was told to me by a friend back in the Ruby Sapphire days, where what he would do, and he was 100% convinced that it would work, and like to prove it, like he caught a Pokemon doing it, and I was like, oh, and now I do it to this day. Where when you throw the Pokeball, as it's going out, as the animation of the ball is going up, you're mashing A, and then once the Pokemon is in the ball, you hold A until you hear that click, until you've got it. So I've got both a hold A and a mash A, all wrapped into one, and it's this muscle memory thing almost that I can't let go of. It's like a tradition at this point to where I have to do this in every one of the games. It's kind of the only thing I really do. If you want to get into like actual like superstitions though, like I did unironically have a kid tell me back in elementary school, like before it kind of got spread around on the internet about like Mew hiding under the truck in
Classic.
well, fucking what city was it in?
Vermilion.
Vermilion.
It was Vermilion. Okay, yeah.
By the SSN. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got
And
to.
I think we spent hours trying to figure out how to get this truck to move. Yeah. We were like, Mew's in there. I gotta get him out.
Is it string?
Was that actually like a thing, or
It was a thing? Yeah.
It was just a rumor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Mew was not in this truck. but in the 90s, early 2000s, when the internet is less ubiquitous,
It's infancy.
like the rumors that surrounded, in particular, like Red, Blue, and Yellow, and the kind of like shit that you'd hear like in school from friends or whatever was so off the wall and 9 times out of 10 incorrect. But that I remember being the biggest one, and that was like a big like schoolyard rumor was like, hey, like Mew's in this game somewhere, and like there's somehow some people were like, hey, if you can get this truck to move, you can find Mew in Red, Blue, and Yellow.
I get that it happens though, because like if you I read from official sources like how EVs work, and I'm like, this is bullshit. They don't work like that. Like you hear something like if we both capture a Pikachu in the same route, that's the same level. Like yours is just stronger than mine. Like that does sound like a playground rumor, but then you look into it and it's like, yeah, fuck, maybe there's a way to get Mew in this truck, man.
Yeah, well, and especially because like. Nobody really until they did that distribution thing with Toys R Us, I think it was how you got Mew in the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, because he's coded into the game. You can still glitch him into the game, yeah. But nobody knew how to do that glitch at the time.
No.
You know, there's like there you didn't have it, or at least at our age, you didn't have elementary school kids like looking into the hex code and shit of Pokemon Red. You know,
Yeah, like if you stop in front of this trainer, mash the start button to
yeah, you
pull up the
teleport out.
menu and
Basically, break the game into just getting you into a fight.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like you could force him to spawn. He's coded into the game, but I mean, you know, we're all dumb kids, and like we know that Mew is. So somehow we were all convinced that Mew was in the game, and there was a way to get him. There wasn't.
How dare
and
we
so-
assume that one of them are actually in this game when they're telling us we gotta catch them, bro?
Well, you got to catch them all. Everything
All
came out
150.
that was all. It was like 151. You had this movie that has Mew in it. Like, I mean, it's like there's got to be a way to get him, bro. Like he's got to
Yeah,
exist in this game.
Like the next Kanto remake needs to do something with the truck and Mew just to like tease it or something.
for the memes.
Yeah.
I went to see if I just like if there would be something around the truck in like Let's Go. I was like, let's see if they just put a little something here. And of course, no, they didn't. But like,
I think
would
in
love
Fire Red, if you make it to that area, there's like a nugget or like a lava cookie. It's like something like kind of worthless. We're like, all right.
just acknowledge that we were all stupid and
Right.
tried this at one point. You
Oh,
know?
I'm really happy though that all our superstitions come from trying to catch the Pokemon, because that's where mine it comes from too. Because I've never done the you hold B and like there's one that has caught on that everybody has done. I think that's like the playground rumor. Mine, I think,
Yeah,
just
there
came
were a lot.
internally.
I heard A B down A B left B.
Yeah.
like, there was I
Or
heard
hold down
a ton
and
of
go back and
variations.
forth between A B.
Yeah,
Mine was I would when the Pokeball would like it would get thrown and then it would whoosh and the Pokemon would go inside.
Mhm.
I would then hold B and I would then hold down on the D-pad and
Mhm.
without lifting my thumb, like rotate around, going right up
Oh
left
yeah,
cool.
to the
I remember that
same
one.
like pace that the Pokeball shakes in, and I
That it
will
was-
do
as
that
it was,
3
like,
times.
rotating. Nice.
Yep. And it's like I will control the rotation, and when the last one is done, the Pokemon will be mine. And even like, dude, I was in Scarlet and Violet like last week, I'm still doing it. It's just muscle memory. This one. Also, when I like get attacked and I don't want to lose as much health as I might, I hold B and press right as if that's going to prevent the health bar from going down.
So
You're
from what
gonna
I'm
hold
seeing,
it there.
a lot of us would really like the was it the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga games where you have to like time your button presses and do more damage or do less.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
block
Give us
damage.
the Sea of Stars combat system. You know.
What I actually want is for Pokemon, instead of Nintendo, rather than like an NFC reader for Amiibos and the Joy-Cons, put like a hope reader and just like feel the hope in my hands.
A hope
and, like,
reader.
What does that even mean?
It means whatever you want it to, Austin. It's
What does
about
that
hope.
even mean?
It's about what's in here.
Also,
But
Jordan,
even-
hope doesn't exist. Telling
The
you.
heart of the cards.
The heart of the card. But even when I do Mario RPG and you gotta like click the A button to like get like a bonus on your like attack, like your damage, I can
Mhm.
never get it right. Like I get it sometimes,
yeah.
but I don't
Yep.
always like get it.
You haven't perfected the timing. You just occasionally get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. All right. But that is for the icebreakers. Cody, I'm going to hand it off to you because I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your dream. Or I guess it's more of a command than a question. Tell us about your
I have a
dream
question.
Pokemon game.
All right.
Is that a laugh?
Sorry.
All right. So there's gonna be a lot of things with this. I mean, it's
I'm
feel
ready.
free to add stuff. Again, like my dream Pokemon game isn't really the Pokemon dream game. It's what what we all Pokemon fans want. But jump
Okay.
in whenever possible. So I guess I kind of want to start off with being like Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be able to like deep dive in these mountains and caves.
Okay.
Like I want to be able. We've never had a way to like dive underwater except for what was it? I think it was Hoenn Gen 3, where
Yeah.
you went in for a little bit, but like give it to us now. Like let me go, in a
Deep sea
reef or
diving.
somewhere. Yeah, like I want to see like a clam pearl, a huntail just going around.
In their element.
It is kind of strange that never returned after Ruby and Sapphire.
I know.
did it.
I thought the
Yeah.
same thing, Chris. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, that's a thing. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
There's an optional dungeon I found out that I didn't do at the end of Black that like after you beat Cynthia in that game, she gives you dive and it's like there's something in like the next city and it's like, oh cool. And then like I was like, game's technically over I'm not doing this.
I just wanted like more deep dive,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
into other areas.
I like
You
that.
know, like mountains. You know, dude, when we were playing, you know, the older gen games, we'd always get lost in those caves. Like I want to
yeah.
get lost in a cave.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
let me get lost.
Put
Like
Which
give
sounds
us
so
the
weird.
depths from Tears of the Kingdom, basically. Be like,
exactly, and you
Yeah.
know, like I'm not saying put like a whole kingdom in the sky for all these like flying Pokemon, but like
But
I want to be
but
able
maybe
but
to.
kind of though, but also maybe a little bit.
They just have their own advanced society up there, and no one's realized that.
they have their own like governor.
Yeah, I just
Could
want to
come
be able to
screaming
like
back to towns like, "There's Pokemon in the sky!"
Geodude starts falling from the like the kingdom and everything.
No! That's an act of war right there.
Next one, I think this one, I you know, this has been my like dream from day one
Tell me
was
about it.
to be able to fly, swim, or ride with your Pokemon. Like
Yes.
I don't want to be on a legendary Pokemon and you know like swim or fly with him. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I liked Koraidon and Miraidon. Don't get me wrong. But I want like I want to ride my own Charizard. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to throw
Yep.
out Pidgeot, hop on its back, just like the movie. Honestly, that's kind of what it all
Like
speculates from.
Lapras or
Yeah.
Blastoise.
Like I want to hop on a Gyarados. You know,
Do you-
Oh, yeah.
stand Fergus.
But
Do you want that like right off the rip? Like as soon as you catch that Pokemon, you can ride it?
I think you would have to do it like that.
That's
though.
the dream.
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just asking. Like I didn't know if you envision some kind of like leveling system where you have to like make it
I
like
think-
you or whatever.
it would almost be more of like the gyms, you know, like how they did it. Oh, like here's an HM, you can now use this HM.
Sure.
I mean, I would pull it back a little bit more to where you get it a lot sooner than you know. the
Sure.
eighth
Thankfully.
gym, but yeah, that's you know that's always been mine.
But yeah, no.
Um,
Because like my thing with HMs is like, yeah, it was annoying to have these shitty moves on my team in the older games, but in the newer games, I don't feel like it's my Pokemon who are helping me navigate the world, and so
Yeah.
it doesn't feel as special where I can't tell my
Mhm.
Pokemon like, hey, we're gonna do this together because you're with me.
Yeah, it's kind of a push and pull. I'm with
Yep.
well, even with like Pokemon Let's Go, when you know Machamp is like holding you like a baby, like walking around.
It's my favorite. It's my
If you want
favorite
it,
thing in that game.
If you want it, I mean, even the Snorlax, you're just like
Yep.
hanging on like
you. Loved it.
this.
Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny. I mean, even with Alola and you have that Tauros and you're you know running around and everything. I thought
Mhm.
that was pretty cool. I mean, it was a ride Pokemon. It wasn't yours, but
Still a
I
Tauros.
think-
Like, yeah, you weren't on a bike, you know?
yeah, I feel like they should have a system to where these Pokemon are in a ride category. Like if you have that Pokemon, it can be in that ride category.
Mhm.
Don't give you a
Yeah.
ride Pokemon like to rent. Just put the Pokemon in a ride category. Obviously, we're not going to be like, hey, Magikarp, swim me to like this other city. No, we're not going to do that. Come on. But like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I would hope, you know, would eventually happen in my lifetime.
Or not like a
Um,
mysterious blob like in what was it, like Hoenn, Ruby and Sapphire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were, you know, it's just
Like it
the
kind of looked like
timing.
Kyogre, but it was just or like a Whalmer kind of a thing. But
Yeah.
It's the same little thing they're riding on. I think
It was
in
a,
Gen
it was
4 as
it was a
well.
little like
Yeah.
hornless dugong looking thing. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
Whalmer as seen from above. I think is literally what like it's what it always
Yeah.
looks like to me. Where it's just like,
That's-
yep, there's a
Yeah.
little flap and there's a circle, and
That's what it was canon for me, Jordan. Just for the record, I was like, well, I'm not going to think too hard on it. That's what it is.
Gen 6. I mean, that was the only one where like if you use surf on Lapras specifically, you were riding on Lapras's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, but wasn't that the only thing though? Like I don't
Yeah,
think
that was the only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that was
the
the
only
only
one.
one.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
was the precursor to like the concept of ride Pokemon, because even Gen
Yeah.
6, like that was the last one with HMs, but they're not used that intensely for like mandatory sections.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wasn't that like not the same thing, but wasn't that like some of the first footage we saw for Let's Go was someone riding on a Lapras and people were like freaking out?
That's
did I
very
mis-
possible.
did
I
I
think
make
that's one
that
of
up?
the
I don't
first leaked
remember.
photos. That sounds right to me.
I
Like
might have made that up.
I think so. I mean, the only thing I can remember is when I started looking at the leaks and everything for each game coming out was Sun and Moon. And you
Oh,
know,
sure.
they're showing like Sandshrew being like a different, and I was like, oh, I don't know if
Oh,
I like
yeah,
that,
the-
you know. eventually I'm like, okay, this is cool. But like,
I was in the same boat until I saw Alolan Executor, and I was like, I'm so here for this. I was like, let's go.
I tried
see,
pulling
but,
up.
yeah, even when even that with that design, I didn't appreciate it until Scarlet and Violet. Like, I feel like I have to like see this Pokemon in a natural habitat to like understand
Right.
like how good it is and all that. Like, there's so many
What a
Pokemon.
great photo.
I just saw an Executor so tall that he doesn't fit in the battle screen, and I went, I have to have him. I was like, I have to have that.
Yeah.
What's he thinking up there? Who knows?
Just
How's
all
the
memes,
weather?
Just all the memes of like Charizard being so mad at Executor being like your dragon type, and it's like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
Bro, now we have Flapple.
No.
Dude, Hydrapple is a really good design. Like,
No, I think Flapple's cool because it's the worm in the apple. It's the worm that's the dragon. Like,
yeah, I mean, Appleton and Flapple not so great, but that's a story for another time.
yeah.
Next one, quests with gym leaders.
Ooh.
Okay.
This goes
Elaborate.
into more of the let's deep dive into the story. Like, I want like a gym leader to be like, hey, I've got this problem. Let's go figure it out.
So
like,
instead of like a trial, it's a genuine quest, and you hang out with them for a bit.
Yeah, like they're gonna be your companion for a little bit, and you're gonna go off and do some stuff.
I love that, actually. That's really cool.
I mean, we've done it before with like the rivals and like Dawn and everything like that. But like, I want the gym leader to be like, hey, I've got these bandits over here behind town that are really causing a fuss. Let's go take care of them. Then we'll come back and do all that stuff. Or like, let's venture on a mountain or something like that. Like, let's deep dive into this.
The gym leader's missing, and you have to venture up a snowy mountain to find him.
Even that.
Get him back down.
Like,
or even they like find like a rare Pokemon or something, and they're like, "Hey, I heard about this legend or something," or the strong Pokemon.
Yeah, or like,
and then you have to fist fight him for it and find who gets to catch it.
It just like the way like Final Fantasy 16 boss fights transition into like a fighting game. It's just that you just see red square. No, but like, I feel like that would also like help with the personality of the gym leader, because like they always show that the gym leaders are more than just battlers. They all have hobbies or causes or things that they do for their town. And so like I think about like, oh, Jasmine taking care of the lighthouse as like her side gig, or Volkner building all of those runways on Sunny Shore City because he was just bored of the lack of talent coming into his gyms. He was like, nah, solar panel roads. Like, but like, depending on what the gym leader's other like secondary specialty is, I feel like if this gym leader likes doing research on the side, maybe, they're like you're saying, looking for a legendary. And so that becomes part of it. Or not even a legendary, but like a super rare Pokemon, like the pseudo
like
of that gym.
Titan Pokemon. Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a gym leader who maybe like maybe helps the like Pokemon rangers of the area, and so you see them doing like more ranger activities of like keeping people safe during an emergency. Like I like that because it does so much for gameplay, but also characterization.
They have been better at least about giving
day job like Larry.
I was going to say, like, most of the gym leaders in like Scarlet and Violet like are all shown to like the gym leader is their side job. It's like they all do other things, but they all just kind of tell you that. Like it would be really cool to show you that they're doing
exactly
as well. Yeah.
My only thing with like Larry's, I wish that when we saw him at the Elite Four that he wasn't so depressed, that he was like happy, because like, no, the normal type gym leader, that's my temp job. That's like me doing my I love flying types.
Nah, I like Larry the way he is, if I'm being honest.
What a twist that was. I remember playing that when it like first came out. You get to Elite Four and he comes out and I'm like, hey,
my poor man's overworked.
Hey.
Like, 2 jobs just to survive in this economy, man.
And he looks like it.
My 9 to 5. But yeah, I feel like, and I don't even want it to be like short quests. I want it to be like really, really long quests.
Yeah.
Like, I want a Pokemon game to be like long. Like, there's gonna be like missions to do. Like, I don't want to go through the traditional gym leaders, Elite Four, and then you're kind of done. Like, I want there to be side quests, a bunch of side quests. I mean, there's so much stuff, so much story you could put into it. Why not do it?
I like it.
Next one, this one, I difficulty settings that adjust stats levels, move sets of the opponent's Pokemon. Now, I think there's been some times where I'm like, this was too easy, but there's also been times where I'm like, okay, that was really hard. I think we should just set that to a level. And kind of by that is, if there's an easy, set it to like, okay, this is the level of the gym leader that, they're going to have. The stats, not so great stats, because obviously each Pokemon has, different stats, different natures, different anything like that. But like how many Pokemon you go up against a gym leader, if it's 1, 2, or 3, I mean, that's the difficulty setting. Everybody's been asking for that. Make it a little bit harder for, people. I'm not saying make it too hard to where, kids are like, oh, we're going to try really hard and, do it. But like, I think that's the thing with Pokemon is that their audience is not really kids. They're trying to cater to the kids, but like
It's
kinda
30-year-olds. Like it's us.
It's 30-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush here. It's us.
Yeah, I mean, there have been moments in like recent times where like I was caught a little like surprised by like the difficulty of a gym leader, and it doesn't have to do with the gym leader it's themselves being this gym leader. So like Whitney's Miltank, everybody has a story because there is just like a series of a combination there and a strategy that is genuinely hard, arguably given how much of a meme has become, like is arguably too hard for where you are at that point in the game. I've been in the situation like just during casual playthroughs where I'm like, oh, because I'm using different Pokemon, so I'm not necessarily familiar with their move sets, and I'm not looking this shit up ahead of time and building the most optimized team. I'm kind of just going for the vibes. I really didn't realize that this gym leader was going to have this move for coverage, and so now like my main 1 or 2 people for my team are gone now, and so I'm stuck. But like those are so much more rarer than they used to be, and like I want the balance or I want like the difficulty to be difficult in a way that's not just, well, you have to be competitive about it. Like I just don't want to be able to like smash A, like just bomb A and succeed. Like I want there to be like a few surprises.
That was a big part of my own pitch. To where it's like I don't want it to be like brutally difficult. I just kind of want the game to respect the fact that a lot of its audience are people our age, and that we want something that's a little more challenging. And I like it's like you don't have to, in order to play this game, go on Smogon and find like your optimal builds for your teams and those sorts of things. Like there's definitely a middle ground there, but I think like obviously you have the Miltank. There was the electric gym in black and white as well. I remember I was like, I got my ground type.
That's the exact one I was thinking of, where I was like,
I was like, I got my ground type, I'm ready to go, and she's got these 2 fucking Amogas, and I'm like, oh god, oh no, it caught me so off guard, and I would love to see more gym leader design in that regard, to where it's like, hey, like these are gym leaders, these guys are the people that are supposed to be at the top of the game and challenge you, and they've got a couple tricks up their sleeve ready to go for you.
Yeah. I think I kind of want it back in, the day of like when I was young, I didn't really think about the typing. I was like, I have my Pokemon that I want. They're cool looking. I want them. So if I went up against a gym and, they're killing me. Okay, well, the level is going to help you out like a majority. So I would always just go grind out levels. I did it a lot in Gen 5 when I eventually got back into Pokemon, because like for some reason all those gyms destroyed me, and I was like, okay, like we're gonna grind this out. But yeah, I feel like they need to cater to us a little bit, not a ton, but just a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah, I just remember breezing through. I think it was Sword and Shield. Like I remember like getting like I was like on my way to the 8th badge or whatever, going through like Victory Road or whatever. It's like I'm not even trying. Like
and Sword and Shield was a snooze fest, dude. And as which sucks because I love the aesthetic of those games so much. But like it was just kind of boring.
Yeah, they're definitely like focusing more on like the exploration and like just kind of letting the other like strategy.
I feel like they were more focused on the wild area rather than exploration, because half the routes were just.
It's kind of what I'm getting at. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, once I got Toxtricity in that game, I just bulldozed through everything because.
Until they bulldozed you, and then you're like, all right, now I got to try something else. But yeah, like, because I feel like there's a way for it to be reasonable, because the other thing is like I look at like some of these difficulty ROM hacks that are out, and it's like in this one each gym leader will have 6 Pokemon. It's like, but I don't necessarily always have 6 Pokemon by the second gym because I'm
Yeah.
not the catch 'em all person.
Yeah.
Even if I am just for the dex entries and to get whatever items the aids give you, like I'm not necessarily running all of them on my team, and I would rather run with the Pokemon that I want to rather than just the Pokemon that are available to me at this time because the best strategy is to have a maxed out team
Yeah.
or is to have 6 members of a team.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of want it for all the gym leaders though. Like set that
Yeah.
difficulty to all of them. So like in Scarlet and Violet, there was some that I wiped out clean.
Yep.
With I forgot what gym leader it is with the psychic with her Espathra,
Yeah.
just destroyed me. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, same.
a lot of that has to do with the new Pokemon. I don't really know that new Pokemon. I kind of got to learn it to see what I can combat it with.
Yeah.
But
I think the
kinda went
ghost
with
gym
it.
leader also got me good. The rapper, I think it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The thing that got me with Scarlet and Violet was the fighting star base, and that's just because, and I guess this is just a weird little quirk about the lack of Scarlet and Violet level scaling, is no matter which direction you go in the beginning, about halfway through, you kind of have to go across the map because if you stick with the
Yep.
side that you're on, you will
Mhm.
just fucking reach a cap. And so I would think I was like with a bunch of level 40s doing good for where I was in the game. Went to this fighting team starbase and it was like all level 60s.
yeah.
And so I remember eventually and I was like that entire run being like, I'm only using new Pokemon I've never used before. And this is the team I have right now. And for that one, I was just like, I'm here. So fuck it. And I just like caught a Scyther and used most of his flying moves to take care of it. And then whatever else I could as well. But yeah, so like scaling is also a thing where it's just like, if I don't know, I don't know if you are holding off on this part, but like, do you think yours would be more linear or more open world?
More open world, kind of like yours. Like, well, I mean, I haven't got to that part in the list yet, Jordan. But yeah, we're gonna get there to the
Yeah.
open world live service.
Don't let me rush you, man.
That's a good answer, Cody. That's the right answer.
Yeah, I think it's time that we get past this, just single open world. Let's make it live service. They're putting DLCs in, which don't get me wrong, these DLCs are amazing.
Mhm.
I love them, but like, come on, let's boost it up. I mean, I'll get back to that.
Let's
later
go
on.
in your order.
Next one, I would have to say this has to go with the more of a Tears of the Kingdom. Let's get in depth with everything, but it's more of like the cities, towns, and landmarks. Like if there's like what was that that one place that you could only go and get Rayquaza, and that girl was sitting on top, and she was like a dragon trainer, like
Sky Pillar.
Sky Pillar, yeah.
Yeah.
Like let's get deep in the even with the city in Black and White, that massive city. It was kind of like made after New York. Like, let me like go in depth. I don't want to.
Castelia City, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like don't give me every single building, but like let me get lost in the city. Like if it's supposed to be a massive city, like
Going
I've
through
never been to New York.
alleyways and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. Like
I literally saw a comment on. I don't remember if there was a Pokemon leak subreddit or a Pokemon ROM hack subreddit, but somebody was like, "I kind of want a Pokemon game that's just one that the map is one city, but it's super dense." And like, I feel like if they do that right, or if it's like a hub world type of situation, like that could be amazing.
well, I also kind of want like Pokemon in the city, like wild Pokemon in the city. Like
Central Park exists, like that would make sense. Little patches of grass here and there.
well, even what was that short? I think it was before either Pokemon 2000 or the Entei movie, where I think it was the Entei movie where Pikachu went into city and they were playing like at this playground in an alley, and like you had Houndour and all these other Pokemon that were just playing in an alleyway. Like,
Mhm. This is
give
when
us
we
that.
saw Hitmontop.
Yes, I
Right?
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I remember this.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, like, give us some Pokemon that are just chilling, like a Magnemite, even Ghost Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot, but
Mhm.
more in depth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Next one, I think the gangs and all that I have really humbled down to where I don't respect it.
Agreed.
Like you don't respect crime at all,
It's just
because like
Respect the hustle.
Yeah.
like Team Rocket, you know what you're getting into.
Mhm.
Like, okay, we're hitting some serious stuff. like I think it all stopped with like Black and White. Like Team Flare, no, I'll take that back. Team Flare was they had some evil doings. They were
Their like method sounded weird, but like their way of wanting to go about it was so extreme. I'm like, you're still evil.
well, I mean,
Right.
once we got to Team Skull, I was like, you don't really got plans, do you?
I'd
Like,
say Team Flare was iffy, but they were still like all right. But then, yeah, like I said, Team Skull was
Yeah, Team
Yeah.
Flare, I think it was like the world. They're like, we want to make a more beautiful world. Like, I think it's supposed to be read more deep, and it's not just supposed to be about aesthetics and fashion. The way
Right.
like it came
Yep.
off. Team Yell or Team Skull, I mean, but like their whole thing's that they're the red herrings, right?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
But I get it. Yeah, it's like you go and they're like, "Oh wow, this town's in shambles. What did you do? Nothing. We're just the bad kids. We're the like it just the bad teams that are just like kids seem to be like 80 movie specials where they're like, we watch HBO and see nipples and we smoke when our parents aren't home."
but even like with Team Star, I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
It was pointless for me. Like,
Star
I was like, I
had
want to get
this,
this over
yeah.
with.
Star wasn't evil, and like if their story didn't hit for me personally, like the way that it hit, I'd be like, Team Star's mid.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Team Star was like I liked the swing, like I liked what they were going for, but it just
Yeah.
it didn't really hit for me.
Which one was
Yeah.
Star?
The newest one,
Scarlet and
Scarlet and
Violet.
Violet. So like they're like
Okay,
the
see,
bullies
I
who
mean,
weren't
that-
actually bullies.
Cool,
Like, they were
cool,
being
yeah. No,
bullied.
that tells you how much I give a shit about them. I mean, like it's just I'm at the point where just I remember seeing Team what the fuck are they called? Star. Even Yell. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, do we need like an antagonistic team in every single one of these
Right.
games?
Which is
Just give me a
necessary.
rival.
Which
give
is
me a
why
rival,
I
I'm good.
feel like Star of the recent teams, I feel like Star almost did it better than Skull and Yell, where
I think in
bar.
concept they did it better, but I just don't think I don't know.
I guess what I mean is like, oh, we're being told that they're the bad ones, and then you go and you're like, oh, you're not, and like these are just other kids I had to fight, and it was like some cool ways to have other type specialties, but like, I think the other issue with Skull and Yell is that their colors are too fucking similar, so I never remember which one's which, man.
Wait, who was
Yep.
Team Yell? Was that Galler?
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the ones who are obsessed with Marnie.
They were supposed to be like football hooligans. Was the idea?
But they're really
see,
just
I don't even
obsessed
remember
with the
Team
gothic
Yell.
e-girl, and I'm like, yo, they're kind of based.
It's impossible to know. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
The
know.
only thing about
Can't be done.
Team Skull that was like, okay, this is interesting, is when you go into that one place. I can't remember the name like of me, but you go through the doors and it's like this whole little town that's just run down, painted over,
Mhm.
graffiti
Yeah.
everywhere, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird and scary at the same time. So that was like the only thing, but like with my
I give
perfect
Guzma
game,
credit
I
for
would
having
want-
drip. Like that's the only thing, you know.
Yep.
Like
Guzma's
dude's
got
red.
a
as
Also-
hell.
yeah,
also
his
argu-
design.
Guzma's battle track, only voice acting in a mainline Pokemon game we've ever gotten.
Also
If you
true,
think
yeah.
about it,
Wow.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
they say his name in that song. There's a dude going Guzma in the background.
I mean, that whole soundtrack, the audio in that whole game was amazing. I mean, not the best
I
game.
just re-listened to the fucking championship battle music from Sun and Moon, and man, that fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Completely
championship
unrelated. You all heard the Cell theme? That's been stuck in my head. It's pretty good.
What, from Dragon Ball Z?
Good. Yeah, it's good
Okay.
stuff. Just saying.
But I mean, with that, like, yeah, let's bring back like a serious team like Team Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma. But if I want to, let me join them. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go around stealing Pokemon. I mean, it would be like kind of cool if you could like steal Pokemon and then the OT wouldn't be your name, the original trainer.
Mhm.
But like, I feel like it'd be cool to like have perks. You know, like if I go in, if you're, let's say you were with Team Rocket, you go into a Pokemon, and you're probably not gonna be like Jesse and James, but you're more gonna be like, you know, the trainer. Like Giovanni's gonna be like, hey, if I need somebody to battle, this is the dude I'm calling. You know, so I kind of want it to have like perks and
Kind of an
we kinda
admin.
yeah, like admin,
Is-
like
Is it similar? Like in my mind, like I'm like I'm gonna be like when I'm playing an RPG, I'm like I'm gonna be a good person, but I still steal shit. Is it kind of like that?
yes and no. I mean, if they were gonna do it, I would say do like full send. Don't
Sure.
just do half of it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
kind of like joining like
was
the
it
Thieves Guild in Skyrim.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Thieves
So if I
Guild or
go
the
in-
assassination
Yeah.
The
guild
Order
or
of the
whatever
Black
it's
Hand or
called.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
like it would be cool to like go into a Pokemon and I'm like, hey, I want to buy Pokeballs. Okay, the usual price is like 200, but since you're Team Rocket, like a mob, essentially, we're gonna give it to you a little bit cheaper. You
Yep.
know?
As you're
Why
making
not?
your rounds, picking up your protection money for the week.
I just,
You still don't like the price.
You
and
roll into
pull
the
out your
Pokemon
gun.
with the Paramachamps behind you, and it's like, you just want to give me a discount on these, right? Like,
Exactly.
Oh, it's like
Mob
black
leader
market
Tony
area.
Soprano challenges you to a battle.
I don't know. Like
Joe behind the counter.
yeah. So I mean, playing Gen 3, I kind of put myself into the story just to make it a little bit funner. So like I was like the son of Team Aqua. Like that was my dad.
Love it.
I didn't want to follow my dad and he, his dreams of, catching Kyogre and doing whatever he wanted to do with Kyogre. I don't know. But like I wanted to be like a Pokemon trainer. So like I was very like in school, like I never paid attention in class. All I could think about was Pokemon. So I would always like immerse myself in these scenes,
I
doing
played
all this stuff.
I played Pokemon Yellow through 2 years of Spanish on my laptop. Just saying.
I got a
I mean-
perfect score in all the mobile games. Like any mobile game I download is like 3-star in every level because I'm doing this while I'm in class.
I got 2 Ds in Spanish, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we're starting to get into the wild cards here.
Ooh,
the next
Give me the
one,
wild cards.
probably the next one would be able to interact with Pokemon not in a party. Like with Hoenn, they had that base. Not saying, you should have your Pokemon at your base, but like let me go back to like the lab where whoever's keeping my Pokemon, let me go there and play with them. Farming,
I love that.
and I'm talking about like all the Pokemon you have, not just
Oh,
we're sending out the 6 in a picnic and you can like interact with them.
Mhm.
Like let me go say hello to like somebody who hasn't been in the party in a while.
Like when Ash goes, like between seasons, when Ash would go to Professor Oak's lab, and
Yep.
all the Pokemon from all the other series are there and interacting with him, and like
And
I will occasionally watch the scene where like I think it's one of the early episodes of Battle Frontier where like they're back in Kanto and Ash and May are there, and May's introducing her her Munchlax to Ash's Snorlax, and like Ash's water types are all the water types are meeting the Corphish that he has now. Like
I always love that stuff too. It's like,
Yeah.
the throwback. I do have this memory of a scene where they're like, Ash, you're catching up to Gary, all his catches, but like 90% of Ash's Pokemon were Tauros.
Tauros, yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He caught 30 in the Safari. He also caught him in an episode that never aired in America. So to us, he just had 30 Tauros out of nowhere.
Man,
I know.
they should have really did an episode where he just released them all.
Oh, see, I was about to say, like, it couldn't have been that hard to censor one gun out of a scene, right?
But was that the episode where he
Yeah.
caught all the Tauros? Was the gun?
Yeah, it
episode?
was the Safari Zone one. I don't know what they say, but at some point, they say something to the Safari Zone owner, and he just whips out a gun.
Oh, jeez.
Yo, he keeps that thing on him. My man.
He keeps that motherfucking thing. You know how much respect I would have given the Pokemon animators if he sends out a Pokeball, but the Pokeball just sent a gun into his hand. Like you just see the red beam, you hear the, and it's just a gun.
Yeah, I don't.
Didn't see this coming, son of a bitch.
Parry this, you fucking casual.
No, but so like, yeah, you want to be able to have like, you like the idea that your Pokemon are somewhere, not just in a PC box.
Yeah.
In a box, it just doesn't, feel like my Pokemon are enjoying life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or what
If
was
I
it?
really-
That was my guilt trip.
Or what was
Yeah.
it? The field in Legends Arceus?
The pasture.
The pasture, yeah.
Yeah, that's
See, like that gave it a little itch though, because I'm like, hey, I see my Gyarados, he's sleeping.
Mhm.
Wake the wake up.
I would like to
good time.
feed him, but like I don't want to have to like bring him into my party and send him out to do it.
Sure.
I get what
Yeah.
you mean. Those are my Pokemon. Unlock the fence. Let me in.
I do admit that was a good half step, though. I have to say, I did enjoy the pasture. Just saying.
Yeah.
So next one, I'm taking a little bit out of the movies here.
Oh, we love that for the
So
record.
I don't know if you guys watched the Darkrai movie.
I have at some point. I'm pretty sure.
Possibly.
I don't remember what
that
happened in it, but I know I watched it.
I've seen
So
it.
basically,
Yeah.
what happened was Darkrai basically entrapped the whole like city town. Nobody could get out because
That-
of like he was trying to get rid of Dialga and Palkia, fighting
Hmm.
over
was
whatever
this-
they were doing.
It was
I was gonna say, is that
WandaVision.
the one where Is that the one with Licky Licky in it?
Yes,
But I
yes.
It is? Oh yeah.
You pervert, you would remember Licky
I kind of want it to where, like, again, put it with the story, like, make this legendary, put it to where you can't leave until you figure this out. Like, you ain't leaving this town or mountain or wherever, until you figure this issue out. Like, bring the movies, what the movies had with the legendaries, into the games.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like,
Yep.
there's such a good concept behind like all these legendaries that it's like a natural disaster. Like, even with Kyogre and Groudon, like, make it to where, like, dude, everything is blowing up. We gotta stop them. They kind of did it with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, but like, again, like, my kind of game, dream game would be, let's, more better looking
Yeah.
than
Right.
what that was, if that makes sense.
Like
Do
it
you have an art
affected-
style in mind?
Ooh, good question.
Arceus would
Okay.
probably be,
Ooh,
if I had to
okay.
tell you a one right now. Obviously, I want it like bumped up times 10, but like,
Sure.
Arceus right now would have to be
So
my
are-
favorite like art.
Are you thinking like? And I haven't played this game. I have no idea. But like Genshin Impact. Do you know what that game looks like?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that kind of like what you're envisioning? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Alright,
just-
I dig it.
Because when I said live service Pokemon, that's the image that pops in my head. Is something
Yeah.
like Genshin Impact.
Yeah, that's what I go to more. I mean, I'm curious to see what this Pal World game is gonna be.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Pokemon
literally
with guns.
Pokemon with guns. Yeah.
exactly. Hey, Jordan, here
It
we
won't.
go. Let's
It won't
do
air in America. We're fucked.
Not coming to Game Pass in America. Dang it.
It's only coming to Game
Yeah.
Pass everywhere else.
Already said that one. Yeah, that's kind of it. I think my last one would be, and this will never happen in my lifetime, but let's let Pokemon go to other consoles, because we all know, like, you could do so much more things not on the Switch.
True.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and again, that whole conversation between Scarlet and Violet, the games that were the first ever game that was like glitching. I mean, Arceus was, I didn't see a lot of glitches and stuff like that in Arceus, but I saw
There's
it
a lot
in-
of pop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Arceus, it was like pop in and just like, I would say the actual graphics that they made are worse than Scarlet Violet, and Scarlet and Violet run worse because they're trying slightly higher fidelity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
mean, I just don't think the Switch is there to where
Mhm.
if they were going to be like, hey, here's an open world Pokemon game live service, we're going to update it every single week. I just don't think it's possible with the Switch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's
true.
The
I
I mean,
Switch-
they're gonna release the Pokemon console. It's just for Pokemon.
I mean, I bought my 3DS in my senior year of high school. I never played anything other than Pokemon on it. So
Sure.
like,
yeah.
I bought a 3DS for Dream Drop Distance. Believe it or not, Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
And then I played.
So did I,
something
but I
else.
also knew a Pokemon game was going to come. I mean, it's
kinda with you, I'm
Like,
kinda with you.
it's like I'm going to have this Pokemon's going to come, but like
Sure.
Dream Drop was damn near. I don't know if it was a launch title or not, but it was close.
I waited the
Yeah.
week that X and Y came out. I drove to a local game store. I traded in my Darth Vader PSP and a few games and got my.
I've got mine. Where is it?
Was that the best trade for a regular, just plain mini 3DS? Like,
No, it
probably
wasn't.
not. But now I have this
I'll
one.
tell you no.
Now I got this one.
I do like that DS.
As yeah.
Yeah,
I
I got
like that it
the-
clicks.
For X and Y, I bought the retro. What was it? It's the.
Was
you
it
know
the
what I'm
red?
talking-
Was it the red and blue one that like there was a Charizard like cover and a Blastoise cover? Or
Oh,
no,
with like
that was for
interchangeable
Sun and Moon.
faceplates on it.
No,
That
I
was
think-
for Sun and Moon, I think.
Oh.
No, I think it was the Super Nintendo. Like, it had it on the back, like, of the 3DS. I
Mm.
bought
Oh.
that for.
Oh,
I think I know
right.
which one you're talking about.
vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
this one.
Um,
Check out our best collectible consoles video because that one's fun.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
about that.
I don't know. I just don't think the Switch is capable of giving us, the ultimate Pokemon game. I
But
think they should-
Xenoblade and Breath
no.
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Like, let's go in
If they-
depth. Like, bump it up times 10. Let's go.
If it was
enough.
okay, here's what I'll say. If it was like a Nintendo proper, it would be fine. But because it's Game Freak and they have to pump out a game every year and a half,
Well, I was about to say, yeah, I
just,
think it's less the Switch and more that Game Freak is just incapable of
Thank you.
optimizing their own
Yep.
game.
You're not wrong though, Cody. Like even if
I'm
like
with
it
you
was
though.
some kind of problem,
It's like I want to see. I want to see the shit like cranked up to 10. Like I think the ideas are good that they're doing, but the execution is off.
Yeah.
And I would
Like-
love to
like-
see them manage to dial that in.
And I feel like from generation to generation, we get like, okay, yes, you fixed the stuff we liked, or you fixed the stuff that was bad, but you took away the stuff that we liked from this gen, and they're
It's-
just
Yeah.
we're not getting the best of every world.
Like-
even with
like-
that, the more I think about it, like I keep saying Pokemon Live Service is what I want, but then I'm like, shit, like Nintendo Live Service would be terrible. Like it just wouldn't work.
But see,
So-
I think this is gonna sound so dumb. Like like what I'm about to say, I think is gonna break people's heads. But like, hear me out. I don't necessarily feel that like a live service game necessarily has to be an online game. Like to me, live service comes with what are the events that are currently happening and what are the new things that I can do in the game during this time period that I wasn't able to do when it wasn't going on. But
So
that
it's just
doesn't
constantly updated. Is what you
Yeah,
mean?
like there's more content, and there's like this week, people are getting access to the Orange Islands for the first time in a game, and there's the Orange Islands event. That doesn't necessarily mean the game has online functionality.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I got you.
My
Like,
brain's
it's-
just broken just because I hear online event and it's like I just think of like public events in Destiny.
exactly,
Like,
and that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Is that I guess it's more about like a stream of content than it is about like an online service working to the best of its ability. Because like I would argue that like all the terror raids we get and all the different codes for quick balls or potions or this mythical or this shiny pseudo or whatever, like that is a stream of regular content that is dropping for Pokemon.
Yeah. See, I don't even know. Like with the Mega Evolutions, the Z moves, the Gigantamax, I don't even know if I'd want that in like the, my perfect Pokemon game. I just don't feel like,
Would you-
sometimes those make sense, sometimes they don't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Z moves, hate it, couldn't stand it, never
Yeah.
used it
Z-moves.
whatsoever, did not like it. Like the Gigantamax, when you're changing the form of a Pokemon, and that was kind of cool. But then you go to like Terra raids, that's more for like the competition side. Let's see how are you gonna combat, Blaziken, who's fire fighting, now he's also water. Like the Terra raid that's coming up, it's like he's gonna be flying, I think.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna be flying, and so I think the idea is, a bunch of people are gonna go in, with rock types, forgetting he's a fighting type, and we'll get like, and that's what I like about Terra has been one of the most interesting mechanics from I think
agree.
just the battle perspective, because you do have to take the original stab and the new type into account, and how
here's
that
my
breaks your
issue
brain.
with the terror raids though is that I like the concept and it changes the way that you have to think about like the battle dynamics because yeah it's suddenly it's things that would have been effective on it are no longer effective and you have to have this unique style. Here's my only problem with this though is that it looks fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Like the actual
Like you're
design
telling me
of
this
it, I
natural
cannot
occurring
stand.
phenomena created a boxing glove when I turn into a fighting type.
I'm with you. I'm
Like,
with you.
yeah,
I
I
wish
really
it
wish
didn't look dumb because it's fun. Like
I wish that it
yeah.
was.
I'd rather
like,
it be like almost like a tattoo
or
like
a colored
because,
aura.
because their type
Just an
change,
aura,
just
I
like
think
some
would be
kind of
fine,
symbol appears like on their body or something.
it genuinely,
I
if
think
they took
aura,
away the
yeah.
dumb hat, like it would be 10 times better.
I honestly
man.
think like to me it would have made so much more sense if the actual like in-game phenomenon, like I guess in universe lore, it's just like an aura type of color that takes them off, and that you basically had some sort of device that would like put a symbol up above the Pokemon's head, like as the trainer, it's like, oh hey, let's put this app on your Rotom phone. It's gonna scan it. It's gonna constantly reminding you that it's a fighting type. But there's like a separation, so I don't actually see this chandelier ass head, court
Yeah.
jester helmet looking thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But, like some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. I feel like the Mega Evolutions were a huge waste. Like you should have just gave him.
Oh.
You should have just made it an evolution.
In hindsight,
opinion.
I feel like Mega Evolutions were a waste because if we're not going back to them or they're now stuck where they are, it's like, well, now I know Houndoom can never get an evolution other than a
Yeah.
regional variant or a regional evolution.
Mhm.
But see, that's what I like about the regional variants is that it makes sense. You know, when they first announced it, of Sandshrew and Vulpix are now ice because they went to the Silent,
Adapt. Yeah.
they had to adapt. I like that. I didn't like
Yep.
it before, but it grew on me.
I agree.
But-
I'm right there with you.
I liked the regional variants, but then I felt that the regional evolutions was too far and it stopped. Like, and I was like, I feel like they ruined this already in a generation, but I've swung back now.
Yep.
I think it makes a lot of sense because I mean, birds here are different than birds in other countries. So like
Mhm.
a Sandshrew here is going to be different on the other side of the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're not getting like super niche with it, where they're like, here's the East Lowland Sandshrew versus the West Sinnohans Sandshrew
Yeah.
versus the Northern Jotonians. Like,
Mhm.
obviously,
Jotonian.
there's like 30 fucking squirrels, and I'm sure species of squirrels in one given area, no matter what. Like,
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, kind of like the regional variants of evolutions, I feel like is cool in a way. Because again, you're still tapping into that. We're adapting. Now,
Yep.
what kind of power are you getting now?
Yeah. Dugtrio grew hair.
That no.
yeah, I will say,
Pure laziness.
Doug Trio, the Alolan Doug Trio line, the Alolan Geodude line, and and Mega Ampharos just growing hair and that being their boosted form has pissed me off. And at the very least, the Alolan Geodude line gets to be like, well, those are iron filaments, and that comes from the electric magnetism. And it's like, okay, I can somewhat accept that, but Diglett just has hair. I saw a thing
Yeah.
today
I mean,
it was the Alolan Duck Trio, and somebody said Iron Claw 2024.
I mean, they're getting better with it. Like the Toedscruel. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't know. I thought that
Toedscruel's
was
great.
regional, but it's technically it's
Convergent.
really
They're
I
calling
also
it.
love that it's basically like a different part. Like you also look at like Wiglet, right?
Yeah.
Like on Diglett and that sort of thing. I like that it's not even like this is a lowland Diglett. It's just Wiglet. It's a different Pokemon, but you can see how how
They're calling it
sentient.
convergent species, and I think that's the difference between like because the new one, Poltergeist, that is also a convergent evolution of Sinistea, which like those
Yeah.
ones don't look as similar other than the face, but it's like Toedscruel
okay.
and Wiglet, and
So-
they're calling them convergent, where there would hypothetically be a Pokemon that was the ancestor to both Wiglet and
Gotcha.
Diglett, but Wiglet is not what happens when you bring a Diglett to a more aquatic area.
Toadscruel like running. I love it. You see that little
I-
fucker run?
When he walks, I literally hear like the little Squidward sound.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
those are pretty good. I feel like that they're being more consistent with it.
Yeah.
So I think we can keep
Mhm.
that. We're doing good. But like with Pokemon, it's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing.
Yeah,
like Tim
always.
Getty said. And I feel like if you're a Pokemon fan, you know what I'm talking about. How
100%.
it's always let's prove something, but we're gonna take something away.
It's always like, huh?
It's not
And then,
even it like the PSS was the best use of the bottom
yeah.
screen. It was such a good way
Yeah.
it was such a good online function in X and Y, worked good in ORAS as well. And
Yeah.
then fucking come Sun and Moon, and I have to go to this fucking weird carnival thing just to trade. Like, I never used it because it was so awkward to me.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
dumb.
I think the other thing I didn't like at first that I got around to was you can access your PC at any given time.
Yeah,
I was
That's-
like, I don't really like that, but I'm like, okay, it's fine, I guess.
that's when I go back and forth on a lot because
I like it.
I like it.
I see
also
how
pro.
I see how the Pokemon Company got there from if we said this used to be something that had to be done via a computer, kids, like modern people, are just used to having everything in their pocket now. And
It's
I
still
get it.
done via a computer. It's just called
It's
a phone.
still, but like and like it's all wireless now. Like you don't need to go to the library to access the World Wide Web anymore. We have it in our pockets, and like
Yeah.
But I still like. And I use it. Like I'm not somebody who hates it so much. I'm like, I refuse to use it. I'll only do it in a Pokemon Center. Like, no. But the positives is like I find myself using more Pokemon, and it's not like I have one team. I feel like I have 12 Pokemon in constant rotation that can dip in and out on my need. So when I'm going to a water gym, I know I can replace my fire type with my second electric or grass type.
Yeah.
Like, but I also feel like It's like when people talk about like writing sci-fi in a modern setting, and they're like, to keep things interesting, you should do. I forget what it's called. I think they call it like cassette futurism, or
Yeah.
where it's like the idea that like
Retrofuturism.
not. But
Yeah.
retrofuturism is more like the keyboard looks like a keyboard from the 80s rather than a keyboard today, where like cassette is like not everything is being transferred wirelessly. Like in Rogue One, when they're going after the plans
As
aren't
in Star
being
Wars, they're
sent
still on
via a
data
fax.
tapes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's still
Yeah,
always, and
yep.
to me, like a Pokeball is like I've thought about doing a video on like how I think a Pokeball works for the longest time, and like to me, if it's supposed to be
TikTok.
like a hard drive, you can't just, I don't know. I like it, but it also like it breaks so much for me. Like what you're saying, if you don't like the idea of your Pokemon living in a box, then I do like the idea of going to a Pokemon Center, because I'm not sending them into the computer. I'm sending them to the professor who's keeping them out of their Pokeball in the lab, but I'm not there.
Well,
Mhm.
that's kind of how I think of it. Like, right,
Yeah.
in the anime, when he'd be like, "Hey, I need to trade,"
Mhm.
I can't think of one now, but he would always be like, "Hey, can you send me this one, and I'll send you back this one." I think
Exactly.
of it like that, but I still would rather like have a place to go interact with them.
Yep.
And you don't have to like make it like just a pasture where you're just like a petting, like just a zoo. I'm just walking by the gates and I see you. Like, hey, make it to like, I guess where it's fun enough to where it's like you can build a base wherever, farm stuff, farm berries, whatever. Make it a little fun, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean the whole. I think the regional forums I got around to it, but I think we should really keep going with this paradox, the paradox Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Let's deep dive into this, because
The past ones, sure.
I was gonna say the same
I
thing.
don't like the future ones. I
don't like that they're all
steel-
robots.
Yeah,
So
they're all
dumb.
robots,
I
like
hate it.
Steel and electric. Is that what like Delibird is now? Steel electric? I don't get it. It
They got
just
their
looked
future
that
from
way.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, for sure. Everything's
Metal.
made of chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the paradox
I hate it.
Pokemon. I feel like I kind of hope they do it for the Unova remakes, because come on, Jordan, you guys know we're getting that. Like, come on.
The original dragon, and I've been dude, I've my YouTube recs on my smart TV specifically, because have just gotten ruined because I'm watching some of the most clickbaity, what does Nintendo have or what does Pokemon have in 2024, and I'm watching these videos gaining no new information, just hearing the same three people guess the same two things, and I'm like, this guy's up to something. But like, yeah, the idea that like a Paradox Unova could introduce the original dragon is cool.
Yep.
I
Because
mean,
Or that'd be the Legends game in my mind.
also
Sure.
yeah.
yeah, but like I don't think they're gonna go back and do a Legends game. I don't. Didn't that Arceus not do so great?
It's weird where it arguably sold better in a way where I think if you look at where it's sold, it's low. But if you remember that it's like a single game, it actually sold. I think when you look at Legends Arceus sales numbers compared to other Pokemon games, it proves that a majority of fans are not buying both copies.
Yes.
Let me pull up the exact numbers to get my point out, because I don't remember them right now. But like Arceus's number being a single game is roughly the same as like some other sales of like dual releases.
I see what you're cooking.
Yep.
Cody, while he looks at those numbers, do you want to give us like a quick synopsis of your game? Because we've been talking about your game for a while, and it felt a little scatterbrained. We got a little off topic there a lot, so I just kind of wanted like a rundown.
Basically, I kind of think of it like Witcher, like not so open world, like Jordan said, like not necessarily online. Like we're still adding stuff like DLC and all that stuff, but just more in depth. See, like
it's hard to get the back of the game quote.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying don't put the game online, because I mean that's all.
It's your dream game, so it's your dream scenario. In your dream scenario, Nintendo gets their shit together with online servers, and it can actually happen. Exactly. So that's what you want, dude.
So I mean, just make it like times 10. That's all I can really think about of the perfect Pokemon game is being open world, more in depth with everything, like art style, obviously no glitches or anything like that. And then if I want to bring somebody in, let me bring somebody in. No issues.
Yeah.
If you want to play it alone, kind of thing. You kind of have it all around.
So basically, go the direction that they're going, but without the missteps, like without the 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Let's.
Yeah.
I
And then the thing I latched onto the most was your gym leader quest thing. Like I think that's really
Yeah.
really smart. Like I really like
Yeah.
that. So if they go the direction they're going, like kind of like how you want, but like stop fucking it up, and then also incorporate the gym leader thing. Like I really like this as a concept.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alright.
making this list, there was a lot of things that I was like, I don't know if I want to put that in there because I don't know how it would do, because it would change the game. Like
Sure.
the one thing that I really speculated on was keeping the turn-based.
Okay.
You know, just having the Pokemon go at it, see who gets there first, and just be like that. But I really don't know what that would do
Yeah, I'm with you.
to everybody. Like I don't know if it would be a really bad thing or a really good thing.
Sure.
So I guess to keep it safe, I just play, keep the turn base, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, open world, more in depth, just grab the story. I feel like there's so much story in Pokemon that you could really grab onto.
Mhm.
And I mean, how easy was it for I forgot that guy's name with the dog. I
Arvin?
don't like
Arvin.
Arvin.
Love that.
At first I didn't care, but once you start getting that backstory of why that you're doing
Yep.
this to that dog, I
Mhm.
was like, I'm in. Your quest is getting done.
Yep.
First thing in the morning.
Exactly. As soon as I
Yep.
figured it out, I mainlined that motherfucker.
Alright.
Like,
So
and-
oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was wrapping up.
So I have some of the numbers here. This is from Statista.com. These ones seem to have more recent statistics, but like, so Legends Arceus sold 14.83 million copies on the Switch.
Mhm.
Above that, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with 15.7 million.
Oh.
And below that, 15.07 million. And below that, you have Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl at 14.65. But Arceus is still like everybody had to buy Arceus only. There was not a Legends
Right.
Giratina to go with
Yeah.
it. Whereas like
Mhm.
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl collectively sold a little bit less than Arceus. Let's Go Pikachu
Sure.
and Eevee collectively sold only slightly more than Arceus. So like,
You're looking at Legends Arceus versus just Pokemon Scarlet, for instance. Like not
basic,
Scarlet
yeah.
and
Well, I mean,
Violet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually like that math works out well because like Scarlet and Violet sold about 24 million. So if you assume that there's a roughly 50-50 split of those games,
Mhm.
Mhm.
okay, then you have the Legends Arceus sales.
So it sold well, essentially.
Yeah.
Even though it's
I would
misleading.
say so. I mean, hey, 14 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
yeah, almost 15 million. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's confirmed, what's not confirmed. I know we did video on what we want in 2024. We probably before Pokemon Day, we might probably do one on like what we will theorize will happen, but like
Sure.
it seems like another Legends thing is happening. The only other thing
I hope so.
I hear floating around is that there might be some sort of like if there might be some aspects of Let's Go and of Legends that get merged into whatever this like new third series is gonna be. Possibly the art style of one, but the catching mechanic, like the art style of Let's Go, but the
Okay.
catching mechanic of Arceus is like something
I'd be
I've
down for
heard
that.
whispers of, like, yeah.
I would love
I
that.
hated Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I can't believe
What?
I can't believe I bought a Switch for that game. Like,
All right, end the podcast right now. Cut him off. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Like again, it's like with every Pokemon game, it's like they have their merits and they have their glaring faults.
I love
mean,
Let's Go. But
I'm gonna back up Alec here. Let's take a break from these mainline games. Give me a Pokemon Stadium.
That was
Pokemon.
Jordan. I was just reiterating.
Bring
his point.
Stadium back, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
What are we doing? Like,
It's wild
Come on,
that we
it's
don't
very
have some
easy.
kind of like new
Battle
version
simulator?
of Stadium out there. Yeah.
yeah,
Give us fun,
I don't-
stupid little mini games to get drunk with and play with your friends. Give us this big like battle thing, especially because there's so many Pokemon. Like, imagine how much more fun that would be.
exactly. Like, I
You
mean,
can watch
you
my
could go
episode to
back-
see all the mini games I came up with.
Yeah.
they were
Al came
good
up
ones
with a
too.
lot, yeah.
I really liked them. That was good shit.
I mean, they could do it though. They could easily do it. That's what I don't get. Like,
Mhm.
come on. Like, I feel like Game Freak needs to really let's start bringing in more people. Let's start
Yeah.
bringing in more designers for Pokemon.
I don't like I don't know how much of it is just Game Freak because like this is another like in all the fucking videos I've watched. There was one that was a little bit more serious in research, and somebody pointed out that like if you look at like how much money Mario has made over its life and like how much of that comes from video games, you see why there is like a value in Pokemon game and Mario games being high quality. But when you look how much like Pokemon as a brand has made, but most of that comes from merchandising, it's like they're not incentivized to make a good game. They're just incentivized to remind people that Pokemon exist.
Yeah.
And then the merchandising takes off from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then you have like the brand synergy. And so like I think this is one of the best times to not have a yearly release because the anime isn't following the games anymore and Ash isn't around and we don't have like the brand synergy is kind of already broken. It's like this is the chance. Things can be slower.
Mhm.
I'm kind of with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any final things on your dream game, Cody?
that is it. That is it for me.
All right. Is there
You
a name?
convinced me. You convinced me. I liked it. Oh yeah. What's the name?
You don't have to have one, but I would hate for you to like come up here and like forget to give it. So
Nope. You need a name.
Dang it. That's the one thing I didn't
I
think
didn't have
about.
Yes, you did.
What the fuck did I call it?
I don't know, but I
like
remember
no one ever was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
guess-
You know, you're right.
Oh yeah, I do.
I was mad because you won up mine.
Chris, 5 minutes before the podcast, just like what fucking lyric should I use for this subtitle?
I don't know. I think it would be. It would make more sense to just call it Pokemon. You know,
Ooh.
That would go
Ooh.
fire,
there for that,
actually.
dude.
If it was
I'm
just-
there
I
for that,
like
dude.
it.
just Pokemon. That's it.
This is
We're
what
not
it is
going
now.
extreme.
So
Yeah.
that
they would have to like drop
go
the mic
hard.
though. They
I
had to
love
work on
that.
that
Yeah,
thing for like 8 years,
like
and then just
this is the game forever. Like I'm here
Yeah,
for that.
Exactly.
I love that.
I love that. All right. And that is Cody, aka KeenOmega's dream Pokemon game. Cody, tell us where everybody can find you. Pimp your stuff out.
You can find me at twitch.tv KeenOmega. Woo. There's not supposed to be an A, but unfortunately there is. I'm waiting for that name to be taken off, but whatever. KeenOmega, and then I think my Twitter is also KeenOmega as well. So
Awesome. And both those links will be in the description down below, along with ours at Shared Screens, where you can follow us on Twitter. Make sure to like, comment on this video. Follow Cody. Let him know what you think about his Pokemon game down in the comments. Positive things only, please. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you later. Bye.
bye. Catch them all.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.